Hey there, guys, and welcome back to another Factorio Friday Facts discussion, number 348, the final GUI update, and I am joined, as always, by Bombug.
Hello, hello. You're welcome to witness the final GUI update today. It's been a long time coming.
It's been a long time coming, 4 years, in fact. um,
Yeah,
Kind of crazy. It's been that long. I didn't realize it had. But this is a huge, huge announcement and update on this one.
yeah. This is a lot of progress, and I love how they show it.
Yeah. So let's just hop into this. So, as it says here, this is this is by V Twins and Ian and Clonin. Over 4 years ago, they planned that infamous GUI update. If all goes well, next week the game will get the last big GUI update for 1.0. While the state of the GUI is not close to our crazy plans we recently had for the GUI, it's above what we initially planned 4 years ago. So, basically, the update next week is going to include visual updates to over 100 game GUIs, new high-res icons for all game entities visible both in GUI and in the world, and new GUI sounds from most interactions, which is really cool. So they kind of go into a discussion here about the process. We will read this is not very much text, and then we get some really cool pictures and screenshots, which I want to kind of dissect with you here.
Yeah.
Um, So, starting off, the plans. About a year ago, in Friday Facts 290 and 291, they discussed their thoughts and experiments and plans for creating high resolution icons. Factorio has a ridiculous amount of items and things that need icons, which by itself means it's a lot of work to redo them. I did not work on the new icons non-stop. For years, there were other more pressing tasks to be done sometimes, but they still took, a large amount of time to make. And this is by V, by the way. Um, as Albert mentioned earlier, we also wanted to create multiple maps per icon to control scaling better than letting the engine rescale icons by crazy amounts, but it could multiply the amount of required images to astronomical numbers. Uh, so the process, basically, since we were very well aware of the amount of work the icons require, we tried to set up an efficient workflow for it, and it paid off big time. This is Blender's what this looks like. Uh, Rather simple Blender startup scene to standardize output paths and basic starting settings was a good start, but the part that saved my sanity was a Python script which automatically creates maps from given input images and downscales images from nearest available highest resolution of if an input is missing, and automatically puts a map into the game assuming the file names are correct. Python script, man, so
I
good.
love it. I've used Python for a lot of stuff like that in the past, and it's a real lifesaver, especially because a lot of the time someone else has already written it for you, so you don't even need to do it yourself.
That's real nice. So it's huge because it means he could create the highest resolution image first and immediately put it in the game and see if conceptually the icon is working. Once I would consider the highest res good enough, I could just downscale each of the resolutions manually in Photoshop and paint the extra necessary edits they would require. Kind of see a bit of an example here with the rails. Uh, the best part is the maps were not really extra work, they were actually a lifesaver. Creating a high resolution icon that's trying to do readable, that is trying to be readable, look good, represent what it should in what it should, and do all of it in any scaling level can make iteration really difficult, as by changing a pixel in the image can introduce problems in completely unknown zoom levels. Feels rewarding for trying to do things right when a resolution that we initially thought is more proper looking, but potentially more work, is actually proper looking and less work in the end. And we see a nice little fish icon here. This is funny. I should have pulled up the Reddit because on the Reddit post of this, V actually commented and said that this fish is kind of like a little memorial kind of trophy of his. It's something that I think he said one of his kids, I believe. Um, something they're into. I think I don't recall exactly what he said, but this is like something from his like life and family. So
Oh,
that's really cool that he managed to get that into the game.
yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, so really nice there. Throwing in some automation as always in the process helps a lot. Now the result. And this I want to look at a fair bit because this is really interesting. So I'm going to scroll down, and there's going to be a large screenshot of every single new icon. And I actually can't fit it in when I'm zoomed in this far. I'm going to actually zoom out a level. I still can't fit it in. If we go to 110%, we can. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see this on the video all in one. So what do you think of this? What's your impressions of this first image here with the results?
So the first image being the let's see,
Sorry, like the
the
whole
set of
section.
tiles. Like, oh, say that again.
Yeah, like just the whole like what's your impression of all these?
Uh, there are a lot of changes, and I'm actually like trying to think. Okay, what is this icon? What is that one? What
Yes.
does this mean? But with that in mind, dude, like they put a lot of work into this, and I think it all looks very consistently the same style, which is huge.
I agree. I think the style blends much better together. As you know, compared to like how it is currently now before this update comes out. A lot of this is in the game where they've had updated icons, but then there's some stuff that's just like super out of date and different that it just really
Hmm.
kind of clashes with the style. Um, Looking
Throws off
through,
my groove, man.
yeah,
You
throws
know.
off your groove. Going through here, is there like anything that like really catches your eye, or it's just like really confusing, or any favorites you have here?
Let's see. Well, so I like the look of the grenades, and I feel
Mm,
like were those already in the game though?
the you mean the
Like the
thing by the
cluster grenade and stuff.
flamethrower turret, or which one are you looking
Uh,
at?
so like I'm looking at the red grenade top row, and on the second column, sort of left side in the middle, there's like more of a yellow grenade.
Yeah, the one by the like pickaxe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the cluster grenade I think is the one in the first row, and then
Hmm.
the one in the second column is a normal grenade. Those were both in the game. The icons were different, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, there's actually let me see really quick here. I'm gonna pull up. Um, nah, it's kind of a pain. Someone did on the Reddit post of the Factorio of this Friday Facts. Someone in the comments made a really nice, kind of almost like a battleship game layout where they labeled like every column with a letter, and then
Uh
every
huh.
row with a number, so you could easily find stuff. Um, but yeah, looking at these, they're all really nice. There's some stuff here that like I just don't understand. Like,
Which ones?
okay, so
Tell me
like
which row, which column.
if we look on the one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, on the ninth row and one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eighth column between the train, like by the train, I have no idea what that is.
Oh,
The to
what
the
is
right
that?
of the
The
locomotive.
sort of yellow liquid capsule or something, right?
Yeah, like I thought maybe it
Uh,
was poison, but then V, I think in the Reddit post comments said it wasn't a poison capsule, and I like have no idea what this is. Maybe, my one
hmm.
guess was maybe like flamethrower ammo or something.
Yeah, it could be. That
Uh,
would make sense.
and then the one right below that, I've like what is this by the
I feel like
insert?
that's gotta be one of the sort of circuit combinator style items that you don't use very often, right? So like you wouldn't
Yeah,
recognize it too well.
maybe,
That's what
but
I'm thinking. Is it looks like something from that set of items, but
it
I don't
does.
know.
I don't know either, dude. And same with
So
the um on the ninth row again, all the way to the right, the thing next to the brick with like the
yeah,
blue like shield thing around it. Like I don't even have a clue what that is.
I'm gonna guess that is one of the shield items that you can equip in your power suit. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
maybe.
thinking.
Um,
Because further down, I see yeah, further down they have like an equipment grid improvement section, and
which
I
you can see.
see one that very similar to it but red that's equipped. So I'm gonna say that's like a shield or something.
Okay. And then let's see. Let's see what else. Oh yeah. So next to the, if you see the car, do you see the car on the thing, it's like sixth
Near the
row or something.
top, near the bottom.
One, two, three, four, five. Sixth row, third from the right.
Okay, yep, I
Yeah,
see it now.
the thing to the right of that with like the propeller. Um,
Oh,
I had a lot of people saying that that was the robot frame, which
huh.
if it is, I'm not sure I'm in agreement with. That seems like real kind of weird.
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense
I mean,
because
it fits, I
that
suppose.
is the frame of a robot, right? You put all the
Yeah.
internals in, and you get the fan that
Um.
keeps it up
Yeah.
in place.
No, you're right. You're right.
But I agree, it's totally different from what we have right now, right?
Yeah, which is
What
not bad.
we need that slidey transition image tool that they have on a lot of their posts.
That would
That
actually
would
be
like
great.
totally clear it up.
Yeah. Two last things I want to point out here. On the fourth row, fourth from the left by the biter, I suspect this is an electric mining drill, but that's very off-putting to me unless they've changed how the sprite actually looks in game, because this just looks like another version of the burner miner drill, even though
Agreed.
they look entirely different when you place them down.
And the burner miner is the one, same row, but number 3 from the left, right?
Yes. Um,
Hmm.
so that one's a little weird to me. And then the last thing for me is on the first row, all the way to the right. I've read that that is the that's the normal engine unit, the like
Okay.
gear with belts, which uh, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, no. I
yeah.
like the older style of engine, sort of cylindrical looking one. And so like if you look let's see what it's fifth row, fourth from the right, that
hmm
red thing,
Yeah.
that's like the upgraded engine, right?
Yeah.
So I just can't really see how like normally you just change the colors on the items to make the upgraded version, right?
Right. Exactly.
So I don't know how that could be
Yeah.
how that could be the case.
I don't either. Like it's real weird to me. Uh, Oh, okay, and then really one last thing is underneath the construction robot is
Hmm.
the RoboPort.
Oh,
That looks really weird to me. It looks like they just chopped off like the top section of it and used it as an image, like it's representative of what a RoboPort looks like, but only like the top of it. Like to me, this is the only image in this entire rework that I think is actually like lower quality than the one we had before.
I I thought RoboPorts were black. Are they not in
No,
game?
they
I
were.
only can remember the icon.
No, they were like black, and it's just like it's just like real like gray and kind of boring looking, and like only the top half. It's just kind of weird to me. It's like to me, this is actually like lower quality than what we had before.
Yeah. Hmm.
So like that's my only like huge. I mean, some of these don't really make sense, like the engine and the drill, but like this one just I don't think fits. Like it kind of stands out to me even among all these others.
Yeah. All right. I'm kind of taking a look at like the full actual in-game image now with all the units in place. I am taking a look at the RoboPort. You're totally right. It actually just looks like a lower quality bit of that, which I guess is fine. Hmm.
I don't know though. Like it's like lower quality. It's lower quality, and then you look at like the iron gear wheels and the concrete that are like super high quality. It's like
Yeah.
it doesn't really make sense.
I mean, I think a lot is going on in that image, and so to scale it down really small, it's
Yeah,
harder to make it look good, right?
that's
Like
true.
I feel like the oil pump jack, like that is like a still a fairly complex thing, but they made it look pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, what are some other ones that like don't look super good? Okay, how about this? You see where the plastic bar is on the like bottom left
Mm-hmm.
ish area there? Go up one row and then third on the right. What is that thing? In between the gold coin, is that a cog? I don't even know what that is. And the solar panel? What is
That's the rocket silo.
that? Okay,
But
so I
yes,
was
that's like really
guessing
low
that,
res. It's like
but
really
like
low. Yeah.
you would only know that if you've already built and placed down a rocket silo, that's what that is. I
Hmm.
don't feel like that icon like really tells me. If you glanced at that without knowing the game, would you know that that's a rocket silo?
Not a
No.
clue. No.
But you would know if you looked at like the, you know, the ammo or the fish or the furnace. You would know what those are just by looking at them.
Hmm. Yeah,
You would
exactly.
know what the radar is by looking at the icon. But that rocket silo, I'm just like not sure. It's not wrong, but it's also maybe needs a reimagining.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Um, so, constructive criticism overall, I think this is fantastic what they've done.
Yeah.
I'd say a few things, and he does say later on that uh, that they want us to try to get used to the new stuff, but they do appreciate and accept any feedback we have. So I think they'll probably give it a little time and see what people think, and then are maybe open to some reworks if there's like a lot of people complaining about specific things. Um,
Yeah. I think that's a really good idea. Give
yeah,
it a bit of time.
for sure.
I've definitely had changes in games where I did not like them, and then like a year or two later, looking back, I'm like, you know what? It's definitely better this way. I'm glad they did. But it was
Hmm.
so uncomfortable at first, right?
Yeah, exactly. It really was. Um, so yeah, really, really good stuff here. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments on this. What stands out to you? What's confusing? What do you not like? What are your favorites? But moving on down here, some icons have been around for years, and the entities they represent have changed, but the icons have not. Because of this and many other reasons, some icons will take some getting used to as they look different now. As a benefit of working on the icons on and off for more than a year, I also get to play the game with them over the year, and I have gotten used to them already. Um, so that's really good.
Yeah,
Uh,
good indicator.
Kind of a image here. You can see like the sulfuric acid is the new, or sulfur. Sorry, is the new sulfur. Because it's kind of like almost a green tint on it.
Yeah, it took me a moment to realize what that was. At first, I was thinking it was like filter inserters.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. um, so since they've updated our GUI to draw on high resolution with the GUI scales like 200%, the item icons suddenly have too low resolution, so we needed to update the icons. That's what I was thinking at first, but as I started seeing high res icons in the game on belts, assembly machines, cargo wagons, etc., I realized how much impact the new icons actually have. And this is the section I was saying. Please do try to get used to the more revolutionary icons first, but do let us know about problematic cases. Reworking all the icons is a gargantuan project, but redoing individual icons can be very quick and done silently without breaking any mods. That's what we've been doing in almost every major release after all. So, yeah, obviously they're going to be like, forget it. If you're just like, I hate all of them, redo it. But, um, you know, if there are individual ones where, a lot of people seem to just not like them, they're definitely willing to work on that, which is good.
Yeah, that's awesome. And honestly, I do think that overall, as like a collective tile set, I really like what they've done.
Yes, same here. It's a huge, huge improvement overall. um, okay, so then going down, GUI style update by Twinson. So as mentioned in Friday Facts 338, the plan was to finalize transition styles, fix obvious issues and low-hanging fruits, and try to get everything at consistent level of quality for 1.0. While it didn't sound like much, it was quite a massive undertaking. Factorio has 800 styles defined in Lua and 400 widget types, out of which over 100 are proper in-game windows. Going through each of them, looking for issues, finding the responsible code, understanding it, and changing it takes time, especially when doing this while trying to account for all the possible situations, such as mods doing crazy things. After doing it 100 times, you start questioning your sanity.
Absolutely. I've
Yeah.
been through a lot of UI updates in my time, having worked for multiple like web development companies. Oh
Mm.
man. You really do like you feel a drag after the 500th style and just like decide to become a hermit and never do programming or computer stuff again.
Yeah, I bet. I can't even imagine, to be honest. Um, In game, you'll notice that some layouts, such as logistic containers, were improved. Broken layouts, such as car, tank, inventory, were fixed, plus about 100 small things like better tile sets, better margins, padding, proper centering of some elements, etc. Here are some examples of what you will see. So, you can kind of see here, just looks pretty nice overall. Scrolling down, some combinator GUIs, some requester chest GUIs here, looks real nice, real clean. Logistic network, assembler machine looks really nice. Just a lot of little cleanup stuff.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I notice every now and then people will post on the forums some screenshot and they'll say like this is unplayable, and they'll
Mm-hmm.
note that like one element is a pixel off to the left, and then you're like, oh my gosh, this actually is like really annoying. So fixing those up is a pretty big deal.
Yes, it really is. Um, yeah, it does kind of stack up. About the about the fact that we took 4 years is partly because, as is probably quite common in game dev, we underestimated the complexity of the GUI. And on top of that, there's some disorganization and constantly expanding and changing scope, and you get a project that never finishes. So finally, I decided to put my foot down, call it good enough to say no to the constant streams of changes. Unfortunately, that means not all good news. It doesn't look like the blueprint library will be getting an update before 1.0, currently making it a very low-hanging fruit as far as the GUI is concerned. Uh,
Press
so
F, boys. Press F to pay respects.
Press F to pay respects to our blueprint rework library. Blueprint library rework. Yeah, a lot of people are kind of upset about this. I can understand that. The blueprint library did need some work for sure. Obviously, it's something that they're going to work on after 1.0. They didn't say that it's just not happening, period. Um,
Yeah,
so I think it's workable enough now to deal with it. I don't know. I mean, they can't get to everything. GUIs are hard.
they definitely are. And yeah, the blueprint library is like maybe a little bit more dynamic than a lot of these other windows that they have up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot going on in there. And like personally, dude, I love using blueprints, but the whole library aspect itself, none of it is really intuitive to me. I keep getting confused. Where did my blueprints go? Did I delete things? How do I move these things around? Okay, now I've got 6 extra blank blueprints. What's going on? All sorts of stuff like that. The UI is not super pretty, and it is a very complex thing logistically to handle. So more than just like, hey, getting the pixels right, making it look pretty, they have to make it really usable. Uh, Maybe I've been just using it wrong, but I'm okay with them taking a little bit of time to get it done right.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you're not the only one. It's very confusing. I still get confused trying to use it. In fact, I just don't use it much because it just drives me nuts. But
You
um,
just copy paste pretty much.
yeah, pretty much just copy paste.
Yeah, I do it a lot.
Just keep the blueprint in my inventory instead of in the library. But
Yeah,
yeah, so it's good that they're gonna do it properly. That's good than rushing it and breaking all kind of stuff.
for sure. Especially you don't want to break things right before the 1.0 release. You have to really set your scope in super tight.
Yes, exactly. And speaking of some breaking stuff, such big updates come with some mod breaking changes, mostly related to changed Lewis styles. In order to help modders in fixing the mods as soon as possible and also improving their styles to make them look closer to the base game, I made a long upcoming breaking mod changes topic. We initially intended to remove the old GUI.png file, but in the end decided to keep it in case mods want to use parts of it. Even if some old styles were removed, mods can still reference the tile set there. Uh, awesome, as always, that they're so supportive to modders. A lot of game devs would be like, here's a huge update, breaks your mods, too bad, you figure it out.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
So,
that happens all too often.
yeah, really good. They're doing as much as they can to support the modders. And then after it's released, let us know what we think in the release post or report any bugs you find on the bug forum. And moving down, equipment grid improvements. In the meantime, Mondro worked on some improvements to Equipment Grid as part of the icon update. This also includes some new graphics for the equipment sprites themselves. So, let's find out what the heck this stuff is. Exoskeletons, I don't think the graphic changed one bit. Easy.
Which
Solar
is weird
panels.
because the graphic changed in the inventory.
Oh yeah, it did. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little consistency
It's got
issue.
more of like a power squat stance in the inventory.
Yeah, that should maybe be swapped over, devs. the the new the personal what's this thing called, reactor thing.
Yeah, personal reactor.
That didn't change either. Uh, the lasers look kind of cool. Looks like maybe they would go on your shoulders or something here. Um, the discharge defense is below the lasers there. Night vision didn't change. Solar panels, batteries pretty obvious. Roboports look pretty nice. You are right. These look like shields, I'd imagine.
So it
Orange.
may be the blue one shield and the I was thinking the red one was some sort of laser defense, but I guess it's just an upgraded shield. I
Yeah,
don't know.
there are Mark 1 and Mark 2 shields in the game. So,
Yeah. I
um,
just when I think of red, I don't usually think of a shield.
yeah,
Unless I
same.
guess I'm playing Overwatch or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Um,
No. Can you tell me what the thing at the top right is? What is that?
I was wondering, my only guess is it's belt immunity equipment.
Uh yeah,
I mean, that's the only thing missing, I think. And
yeah, that would
uh,
make sense.
it's like real small and hard to figure out what it is, but um, overall, it looks nice. Pretty nice stuff there. Uh, and then down to sound effects. I have not listened to these yet, so I'm gonna
Oh
listen to
boy.
them live. Uh, as I mentioned in a recent post for FX341, I've been mostly working on UI sounds. This is from Ian. My approach has been to get across the tactile feel of the buttons plus the appropriate feedback for a particular action, but sometimes you don't really know until the rest of the team has heard them. So here's one. I'm gonna listen to it. Um, okay, so this first one, I I pretty much like it. I think my favorite noise actually is the at the very end when they're scrolling through the logistic request slots. That like real like loud old style mouse click sound. I actually really like that.
Yeah.
Um, some of them are like a little too sharp to me, maybe if I'm being nitpicky. Like the moving the
Switching
items.
tabs. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
moving items into the trash slots one. And the switching tabs is a little bit, but overall, I think it's pretty decent. What do you think?
Yeah. I feel like I need to hear it in combination with my usual factory sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Cause this has like kind of an old school sound to it, like it sounds like the old mice that I had in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yes.
It kind of has that sound to it, and it's giving me a little bit of nostalgia, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of interested. I think I want to hear it in game with the other audio, see how it blends in. Seems
Yes.
okay for me right now, but I don't know. I have to get it as a whole picture.
Same here. Same here. I think that'll help a lot. And they won't be as like jarring and pronounced when it's kind of also blended in with the other noises.
Yeah.
Um, so after prototyping ghost building, for example, I thought I had a set of sounds that worked. However, Vaclav gave me the valuable feedback that they were too much like in-world SFX and need to be more electronic. This makes sense as building the ghost is really sitting in instruction of the robots. We also have sounds for rotating entities, which is something you asked for. It provides a bit of useful and fun feedback, which could be helpful if you hit the R key by mistake when you meant to open your inventory. So we'll go ahead and listen to this. Okay, so rotating sound, I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of the. I actually really like the sound for um, hitting. It looks like when he hit Q over the pipe, it put that in his mouse.
Hmm.
That sound I really like. The actual laying of the ghost, I'm not a huge fan of. It's really sharp to me. Um, I
Mm,
would kind of prefer laying the ghost to be like the same sound as the Q thing over the pipe. Um, I don't know, just like the placing is just like really sharp and high pitched to me.
okay.
What do you think?
Uh, Yeah, it's interesting. So the first time I listened to it, I really did like the ghost placing sound.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're making me biased. You know, you're changing my opinion here, and I'm like, yeah, that is actually kind of sharp, huh? So I think that they did nail the, oh, this is like an electronic sort of blueprint placing sound,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but maybe it's a little sharp. Yeah, I think having some amount of sharpness in these noises is good because we're gonna have a lot of background factory noise going on,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to feel visually and audibly that you're doing things right. So, like he said, when you accidentally click your R key and you rotate something, you want to have some feedback that tells you that you did that. So, having it a little sharp is probably not a bad idea.
That's actually a good point. That way, it kind of can still be heard and stuff among all the other noises.
Yeah, because there have definitely been times where I'm like ghost placing something, and I'm like, I go back later and realize that I missed one insert or something. And if you have that little bit of a auditory response or something, or like in a lot of games there'd be like a little bit of a sort of a bump in the graphic that
Mm-hmm.
shows like, hey, this thing is happening, then that makes it a lot clearer to the player what's going on.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I do agree with that
So
actually.
see how it goes in game. I'm pretty curious, but I initially liked it, and I still think it's a pretty good option and a lot better than not having it at all.
Yes, yes. The sounds do help a lot with immersion. Just kind of indicators of what you're doing and stuff like that. Really nice. Um, so in the case of night vision equipment, I started by making a subtle whoosh sound, but Clone suggested something more like the wind-up sound in Splinter Cell, so I made a kind of homage to that using a mixture of a rising synth sound and an electrical contact effect. So let's listen to this. Mm, I actually like that a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm
It
a
definitely
fan of
does
that.
have a Splinter Cell feeling to it
Yeah,
if you've ever played.
I've never played, but um, that's really cool that they kind of took inspiration from that.
Yeah, and man, this is just showing their attention to detail in the game. All of these little things that we don't necessarily think of all the time that just go through and happen multiple times in every single place. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even really think that there's no audio for it, but now they're like, no, check it out. We're polishing for our 1.0 release. This game's gonna be good.
Yeah,
Be ready for it.
and it is gonna be good, man. Um, so then I think the last one here is ask Posila if we could play a different building sound for landfill. Once this was done, I spent a whole day creating and playtesting a variety of sounds, being careful to balance the levels between the impacts and the subtle water splash behind it. I felt they worked so well that when Vaclav asked me to look into changing concrete tile sounds, I used a similar approach, and that mechanic also feels much more satisfying now. So, gonna go ahead and listen to this. Very nice. I really, really like that one.
But going back to like more nostalgia, this is just making me feel like I'm playing Sim City or Sim Theme Park or something again. Just being like, oh, I'm changing up my environment. Got all these nice sounds to go with it. It's good.
Yeah, it's so nice. I'm definitely brings back nostalgia to like Roller Coaster Tycoon and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Really, really
You ready
great.
for some Factorio ASMR? You know?
AS. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So, uh, last section here, all together, really great sounds. Be interested to see how they work in game. Um, and then, so Val has been working on more variety for the different sizes of enemies, plus some new sounds for unlocking on Rails. From now on, it'll be mostly final mix adjustments, including final music mastering and making the whole soundtrack uniformly a bit louder, which is cool. Factorio does have a pretty good soundtrack. Uh, Last thing, I'm just going to summarize this. So basically, G2A resolution back in Final Fantasy 3, they talked about our thoughts on gray market websites, more specifically about GTA 2A's vow to pay back 10 times the money it lost to chargebacks. So they've been working with it, and with them, and the conclusion is G2A confirmed that 198 of 300 Steam keys they had recorded as fraudulent purchases were sold on G2A, and they kept their promise to refund 10 times the chargeback fees, which was around about $20 an order. So they got. I actually saw an article published. Where was it? It wasn't. They did mention an article, but it wasn't here. It was actually somewhere, or like a pretty well-known website that an article was published at. And I think they got like a $40,000 um,
Ooh.
like compensation for all that, um, which is pretty awesome. So, that's it. They were quite open during discussions, and we don't doubt the results they have provided. But they still don't recommend purchasing Factorio from any unofficial sources, and there is no ongoing relationship or agreement with G2A after this. So, guys, make sure you buy your Factorio from a legitimate place. I believe that would be, well, obviously Steam. Obviously, they're on the website. I'm pretty sure it's on Humble Bundle as well, and I think one more. But I think they have a list of like their
GOG.
authorized recommended places.
Yeah. Could be like GOG or something. They're
GOG,
usually pretty
yeah.
good, right?
Yeah, don't be buying it from somewhere like random that just seems shady, like that. Where you're just like, I don't know if Factorio is actually like really supposed to be up here. Um, so pretty much it. Really, really great Friday Fact. So many new things coming. As a precautionary note, this is going to be out next week. I know you're all excited, but I would recommend backing up your saves before you update to this version, as well as keeping in mind a lot of your mods are probably going to break, so also keep that in mind. But overall, really, really great stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, this was a good update. So many nostalgic sounds, so many nice tile set updates, or icons rather than tile sets, but it's
Mm-hmm.
good. Plus, hearing that resolution on G2A, I definitely wasn't thinking that they were going to go through with their 10 times payback.
Yeah.
So, at least they're doing that much.
Yeah, yeah, which is really good. Um, so yeah, I think that's it here. You got any final other thoughts?
Wow, this was a big post with, four different authors. It's a tag team here before the American long holiday. So for all of you taking off Monday for Memorial Day, make sure to enjoy a nice new update coming from the Factorio team.
Yeah, hopefully they get that out soon. Um, but yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. Leave your thoughts below. We're really interested to hear what your thoughts are on all this, and of course on the forums and Reddit for the devs. If there's icons that you are just really not liking here, let them know. Obviously in a constructive, friendly way, but do let them know because they are willing to, maybe rework individual ones if the community doesn't like them. Uh, and yeah, things always, guys. Take care, and until next time, we will see you later.
Catch you later.